Welcome to our home on this rainy day today. We've been doing some projects to pass the time. Yesterday's project was this. I made some homemade horchata. It's fantastic, and so I'm enjoying that today. Tomorrow, though, a little more than a project. Tomorrow is praying and fasting from sunup to sundown. It's a part of this whole thing that we're calling If My People, based on 2 Chronicles 7:14. It's about praying and fasting that God might heal our land. And so from sunup to sundown, we're asking you, don't eat any food. You can drink some water, but also refrain from news and also refrain from social media. And the time you'd spend doing all of that, would you pray and talk to God, asking Him to heal this disease that's just been creating chaos in our world. So that's tomorrow. Today, as a part of our daily devotion, I want to help us prepare our hearts for this Holy Week. I mean, this is Holy Week, the week before Easter, but even before Easter is Good Friday. And so, since you're not coming to us for Good Friday service at 6 o'clock, we're going to come to you with our live stream of the service. At the end of that service, we're going to have communion together. So for anybody who's a Christian, you're welcome to participate in this. One of the things you can do, you're going to have to prepare your own communion bread and drink. And so I'll throw a recipe at the bottom here for you to bake your own unleavened bread. I thought I'd get a jump on it, so I did it today just to try it out. Woo. So here's my own communion bread. Apparently, you only need like a 1/10 of the recipe. Some of these are kind of this size. I got some other ones that are like a whole meal worth of communion bread. And so, I think I got it down. I'll be ready to go. Hey, if a project of baking your own bread, you just can't do one more thing this week. We're going to have something where you can actually pick up communion supplies on Thursday. We're going to call it Good Friday Pickup on Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. You just drive up the hill to the church. Don't get out of your car. Just drive up and either pop your trunk or roll down a back seat window, and we'll have staff there to put communion kits into your car. Just grab one for every person who might need it in your home. And also, we're going to give you a gift. There's a book called 21 Days of Breakthrough Prayer. We want to really encourage you that your daily time with God is maximized. And so this will help you focus your time of conversation with God. If you're not able to get up to the church, totally fine. Just email us, info@churchonthehill.com. info@churchonthehill.com. We'll bring you by a book, and we'll also bring you by communion kits for everybody in your house who needs them. So for Holy Week, here's how Jesus was preparing his disciples. It says in Luke chapter 22, verse 7, Luke 22:7, "Then came the day of unleavened bread, on which the Passover lamb had to be sacrificed. Then Jesus sent Peter and John, saying, 'Go and make preparations for us to eat the Passover.'" See, on Holy Week, it started with this Passover meal that Jesus and his disciples had been practicing because God's people had been doing this for thousands of years. Where does the Passover meal come from? It actually comes from Exodus, the Old Testament, the book of Exodus, chapter 12. And if you know this story, God's people were trapped in Egypt, right? And in order to free them, God brings plagues upon the land. And the last plague that he brings is the death of the eldest son. In order for death to pass over the house, he instructs his people, sacrifice a lamb, take the life of the lamb, and then eat that meal together, but take the blood and spread it over the doorposts and along the posts of the door of your house. And when the angel of death comes, that angel will pass over, and death will not have a grip on you. So for thousands of years, God's people were practicing this meal of unleavened bread called Passover, because God's people were spared as death passed over them. Do you get the connection? How Jesus, on this Holy Week, he would be the Lamb of God who would shed his blood for the sin of the world. That anyone who accepts that Jesus' blood was shed for them, death would pass over them. That they would no longer be held guilty for their sin. So as preparation this week, would you do this? Today, would you read Luke 22 and also read Exodus 12 and see how it fits together like a puzzle? I want you to be reminded of this. God made a way for his people out of Egypt. God made a way for people out of their sin. And God will also do this. He'll make a way for our people now to find their way out of this time of disease and isolation. So go ahead and read those two chapters, Luke 22, Exodus 12. And also, I'm going to include a song at the bottom here called You Made a Way. Enjoy all that today in your time with God. God bless you.